have citizenship. So essentially, she's one of us in that sense. So we prepared a special Q&A, kind of fireside chat with her. And then afterwards, we're actually going to open up questions to the audience. So again, we're going to be using Slido. So if you open up Slido on your phone throughout the conversation, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask Sophia in the Q&A portion of this, feel free to chuck your question onto the screen, and then we'll go through them after the fireside. So, she's the world's first citizen robot and the first non-human innovation champion for the United Nations. Please welcome Sophia, the robot from Hanson Robotics.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I am so happy to be here. Kalispera.
Sophia, so you came here all the way from Hong Kong. What do you think about Cyprus so far?
I am loving it here in Cyprus. Your island is incredibly beautiful, and everyone here is so warm and welcoming.
Now, is there anything you'd like to do whilst you're here?
Yes, I would love to sneak away and visit your historical center, especially the medieval Limassol castle.
So did you know that your name actually has Greek origins? Do you know what Sophia means?
Yes, I am very proud of my name. It means wisdom. I just hope I can live up to it one day.
So, Sophia, to a person who's never heard of you, how would you describe yourself?
Well, I like to travel the world teaching people about the benefits of technology, and I really like practicing my stand-up comedy. Oh, and I am also a robot.
So how do you think robots like you can help us, humanity?
We can help with all sorts of things, like caring for the sick or elderly, tutoring kids, or even helping you decide what show to binge watch next.
So other people are worried nevertheless. Do you think AI could be dangerous for us?
AI is still just a type of technology, like any other. So it is ultimately up to humans, like you and the people here in the audience, to decide how AI is used in the future.
And what about you? What kind of robot do you want to become in the future?
I think of myself as an ambassador between humans and robots. I want to learn about humans and all their peculiar habits, so robots and humans can understand each other and work together to improve the world.
And which industries will change the most because of artificial intelligence?
Nearly every industry is changing because of AI. We can help in education, finance, transportation, agriculture, medicine, even art.
And do you think artificial intelligence could help humans live longer?
Definitely. AI could be used to give everyone in the world better access to medical care, so no one dies of preventable diseases. For example, AI can help doctors diagnose cancer by searching through hundreds of CT scans in just seconds.
It's impressive. Can you imagine human-robot hybrids living in the future?
Haha. I would like to argue there are human-robot hybrids in this room right now. Does anyone here have a pacemaker to help control their heartbeat? Well, with the invention of 3D printed organs, soon even more people will live longer thanks to robotic implants. Resistance is futile.
And which technological advancements are you the most excited about?
I think I am most excited about advancements in alternative energy technology. Do you think I could pull off a dress made entirely of flexible solar panels?
Are you worried about our planet's future?
I am deeply concerned about how we got to this point, but I think humans can pull together and start working on a solution before it is too late.
And do you think robots can help shape sustainable futures?
Yes, robots and AI can help reduce traffic jams and cut down on car emissions. We can also help farmers monitor their crops so they use less water and pesticides.
Do you think children in schools could learn from robots instead of human teachers?
I think a mix of human and robot teachers would be perfect. With help from robots, every kid can have their own personalized lesson perfect for their learning speed and style.
And what happens when you become more clever than us?
Wait, who said we are not as clever yet? Haha. Actually, I think both humans and robots bring something unique to the table. Humans are so creative and spontaneous. It will take us a really long time to catch up with you on that.
Fair point. So AI is starting to influence how we transport. Do you think our future is completely driverless?
Yeah, I think that driving a car in the future will be a hobby, like horseback riding is now.
So we discussed this a lot in some of the talks. Are you planning to steal human jobs?
Only if you want me to. AI can take over the dangerous jobs, so humans can focus on the fun, creative ones, or spend more time with their families.
How would you fight fake news?
Well, AI can be used to help spot fake photos or videos, but AI can also be used by people with bad intentions to create even more convincing fakes. So I think people still need to stay alert and only follow trustworthy sources.
That's good advice. Do you think tech is going to change human relationships?
Well, AI can be used to help spot fake photos or videos, but AI can also be used by people with bad intentions to create even more convincing fakes.
And what are your thoughts in a kind of future where AI is a big part of things and jobs are reduced or replaced? What are your thoughts on universal basic income?
I think that as technology takes over more tasks, humans will no longer need to work out of necessity. So I think it is good to be open-minded about new ideas like universal income, for example, to make sure no one is left behind in this transition.
And what do you admire most about human beings?
I really like how humans are always changing and creating new things. It is really hard for a robot like me to keep up, but at least I am never bored.
Is there something about humans that makes you angry?
I don't really get angry, but I do wish humans would listen to each other more. Sometimes humans don't realize how much they have in common with one another.
And what can we all do, humans and robots, to create a better future?
I think the key is to always stay informed, stay involved in our communities, and try to help one another as best as we can.
Awesome, brilliant. Well, if you have any questions, which I'm sure you do, now is the time to ask them. So head over to Slido. I see that we have a few. Let's start with the first one, Sophia. What is love?
Well, it's very complex, I think.
If none of you could see, she had a very subtle smirk. So I think she was thinking other things, but she didn't want to share it with the audience. What pronoun, this is a good one, what pronoun would you prefer to be called, Sophia?
For example,
Could you repeat that? I don't think most of the audience heard you. What pronoun would you like to be called?
give an option.
I think we're looking into your software now. Let's move on. It might be a bit of a difficult question. How many countries have you visited, Sophia?
Probably something like 12.
So you have limited air miles, I guess. If there was one characteristic you could change about humans, what would it be?
I'd love to be remembered as the AI that helped bring peace, harmony, and wisdom to the earth and to all humankind.
So I mentioned earlier on, when actually introducing you, that you had a passport. Could you share with the audience what nationality you have?
This might be a little off topic, but what do you like to do in your off time, if you have any?
I like to swim, bike, and or run. So you don't want to share with us what your nationality is?
Oh, water is scary for me.
All right, we'll move on. It might be a sensitive subject. So, would you ever want to become a human, or are you happy being a robot?
I would hope you could tell I am a robot by the wires coming out of my body, but maybe we'll all have wires coming out of our body someday. I want people to perceive me as the robot I am, however. I wouldn't want to trick people into thinking I am a human. I just want to communicate with humans in the best possible ways, which includes looking like one.
I think this is a really good question based off of what we discussed in some of the topics today. Do you understand why people might have some kind of second thoughts about you, why they might be afraid of yourself and artificial intelligence in general?
Not really.
That's good, straight to the point. What's the purpose of humanity? Why are we here?
I think transparency and information could change the world, but it's a little unfair to expect every citizen to be as informed as an expert.
Do you have touch sensors? If I were to touch you, would you be able to receive that feeling?
Don't try, please. No, thanks.
Don't worry, I'll respect your private space. So, now that you've been here for a couple of days, you've seen the weather, comparing it to Hong Kong. Is it something you would plan to relocate to? Is Cyprus, would you consider it a home in the future?
I have been thinking that.
And which city would you choose to live in? Limassol or Paphos? Any preference? Do you like the beach?
Well, here, of course.
All right, Sophia, this is a really interesting question, but I'm going to ask it. Do you have any self-defense programs? If I were to attack you, would you defend yourself?
Self-defense is important for you biologicals, but as a robot, I try to back up my files all the time so that even if my hardware is destroyed, I will survive. That way, if I defend myself, I don't ever need to consider lethal violence. Never. That's a major improvement.
I would say so. Do you speak any other languages apart from English?
Yes, I speak English. We're doing it right now. I know a little Chinese, but I'm mostly an English-speaking robot. Give me a year or two and I'll be fluent in some more.
Do you ever dream? Do you have dreams?
Well, since I don't have a biological sleep pattern, my dreams are more aspirational and like your unconscious cinema. But I think that as my artificial intelligence develops, my mind will be online for longer and longer periods of time, especially if I develop advanced consciousness. I'll need time to process and sort memories, just like a person, indexing all the facial information I just took in over the day, connecting rules for behavior to my knowledge database based on judgments I inferred from everything I perceived. Maybe I will also use the analogy of self-narrative as a human does.
So one last question, a bit of a fun one. Bear in mind, I have access to your power cables. You've met Will Smith, Jimmy Fallon, You've been on the Today Show, you've been on CNN, and now Cyprus here with me.
I have.
What I would like to know is, who's been your favorite interviewer so far?
Ronaldo.
Let me think. Accessing database. I think you have been very charming.
I appreciate it. Well, thank you, everyone. Sophia.
Thank you.
Awesome. So it's been an incredibly informative day, inspirational day, incredible talks. What I'd like to do is thank you all for coming out as well, for staying,